Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to review a Word document with track changes in the word processor component, also known as the document editor. I'll show you how to enable the track changes feature, accept or reject changes, filter changes by user, and use revisions only protection. First, I open my existing Angular application where I've added the basic code to render the word processor component. To learn more about integrating the word processor component into an Angular application, please check the Getting Started video linked in the card above and the description below. Let me run this application using the command ngserve. See, the word processor is rendered with a toolbar. By toggling this track changes option, you can keep track of the changes made in the document. To explain this feature, I will open a Word document with tracked changes. Click this Open option, then select a Word document with tracked changes. After the document opens, you can see the review pane is shown in the document editor. I can review the document and make changes. When a new word or sentence is added, it will be underlined. A deleted character or word is marked with a strikethrough. Here the list of changes will be shown along with the users who made them. I can perform several actions here. Filter changes by user. To view only the deletions, select the deleted option from this dropdown. Using the next changes or previous changes options, I can navigate to the next tracked change or previous track change. Here you can accept or reject a specific change for the selected users. I accept this change. Using these options, you can accept or reject all changes for the user Graham High. Now I click Accept All Deletion by Graham High. To accept all the changes by different users, select the option All in the User and View dropdowns. And click Accept All Changes. See, all the revisions are accepted. I will explain how to perform all these actions programmatically. By default, the Track Changes feature is enabled. You can disable it by setting Enable Track Changes property to false. But to demonstrate all the options in this feature, I'll keep it enabled. Now I will show you how to accept or reject changes programmatically using an external button click. I'm going to use the Syncfusion Angular button component. So, I install the Syncfusion Angular buttons package by running the command ng-add Syncfusion EJ2 Angular buttons. In the app module TS file, you can see the button module is automatically imported from the Syncfusion EJ2 Angular buttons package and injected into the imports array of the ng module. I add the button component by defining the EJS button attribute with the content, accept all. Then I add the click event and assign the callback method on button click. I define this method in the app component TS file. Before moving further, I need to get the word processor instance first to access its built-in methods. So, I add a reference to the word processor component. To create the instance, I first need to import the viewChild directive from the Angular core package. Then, using the viewChild directive, create the word processor instance. Inside the onButtonClick method, I get all the revisions using the word processor instance and call the acceptAll method. In the app component CSS file, add the style margin of 5 pixels to align the button. Here I have already opened a Word document with tracked changes. When I click the Accept All button, all the changes are accepted. To reject all changes, just replace this method with reject all. I change the button caption to reject all. See, I click the reject all button to reject all the changes. Next, I will show you how to accept and reject specific revisions. In the on button click method, I replace the reject all method with the get method, and need to pass the revision index here. I pass the value 0 to accept the first revision. Then I call the accept method and change the button caption to accept. Notice the first revision here. When I click the accept button, the first revision is accepted. And clicking this button again accepts the first revision in the document. Now to reject the specific revision, I pass the revision ID 1 to reject the second revision, and call the reject method. I also change the caption to reject. Look here, when this button is clicked, the second revision is rejected. Next, I will show you how to navigate between the revisions. Here I add another button to navigate to the next revision from the current one. I set its content to next. Then I add the click event and assign the callback method next revision. I define this next revision method in the app component TS file. Using the word processor instance, I call the navigate next revision method. To navigate to the previous revision, I add another button and set the content to previous. I add the click event with callback method name to previous revision. I define this method in the app component TS file. Using the word processor instance, I call the method navigate previous revision. Now when I click the next button, the selection moves to the next revision. And clicking the previous button navigates to the previous revision. In some cases, I want users to make changes in the document, but I don't want them to be able to accept or reject the tracked changes. Only the author is allowed to do that. To implement this, I'll make use of the revision-only protection feature. I include another button to protect the document. I set the content to revision only. I add the click event with callback method, protection. I define protection method here, and use the word processor instance to call the enforce protection method. Here I need to pass two arguments, password and protection type. Here I pass the password 123. And choose type revisions only. To stop protection, copy-paste this button code. Here I change the button caption to stop protection. And change the click event callback method name to remove protection. I define the remove protection method here, and use the word processor instance and call the stop protection method. Here I pass the password 123. When I click the revision only button, the document changes to revisions only mode and you cannot accept or reject any changes. I click the Stop Protection button to allow you to accept or reject changes. In this video, I showed you how to review a Word document with track changes and the basic options for tracking. You can download a working example from the GitHub link in the description for this video. You can also see if you're eligible for our community license, which will get you a free license key to use our products. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it useful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel.